Hey, what's up, guys? It is Saturday, September 16th, 2017. This is the day. Canelo versus Golovkin. And now, as far as I'm concerned, today there is a three-headed monster. Three big fights that I'm interested in. Of course, Canelo Golovkin. In the UFC, we have Luke Rockhold against David Branch. And in boxing, which is going to start a little over 30 minutes from now, as I'm doing this video, will be Billy Joe Saunders defending his title against Willie Monroe Jr. For anybody who doesn't know, this fight will be shown here on YouTube. Go to Banner Promotions Network is the channel. Banner Promotions Network. They are broadcasting the fight live. It's gonna start at 4:30 Central Time. So yeah, it's starting very soon. It's gonna have the Anthony Yard fight, I believe, as the opening fight. All right, now let's start with that fight, with the Saunders Monroe fight. Now, my initial thoughts on this fight was Willie Monroe would outbox Billy Joe Saunders, but most likely, and the reason that I would not play the fight, Willie Monroe, when I first looked at the odds, he was a plus 200 underdog. Um, that I thought and still think that is good value. It's actually higher now, but this fight is in the UK, and unfortunately for Willie, I do not see him getting a decision in the UK unless he knocks down Bill Joe Saunders a couple of times. You know, I just don't see it. Um, I just watched before doing this video the fight, Bill Joe Saunders' last fight against what's the guy named Akavov, I believe is his name. Yeah, I watched that fight, and I remember at the time the way people talked, you would have thought it was a robbery. You would have thought that Billy Joe Saunders got the ultimate gift. You know, that he looked sluggish, he looked bad, and all this and that. I scored the fight a draw. I gave Billy Joe Saunders the first two rounds in that fight, and then Akavov won the next four. Billy Joe then won the next four, and then Akavov won the last two. It came out to a 114 scorecard for me. Billy Joe Saunders was kind of downgrading himself off their performance. He really has nothing to be ashamed of because I saw, in my opinion, the heart of a champion in the second half of the fight. From the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th rounds, he was making a comeback. He dropped the last two rounds, but still he could have folded earlier. He won the first two rounds in that fight, but then in the third round he got hit a few times, and then he was on the back foot, not throwing much for the next 3 rounds after the third. All right, but now he's moved on to Dominic Ingle. The guy's gotten in great shape. We know he blows up between fights, but the guy he has gotten in great shape. Now I was putting that in Willie Monroe's favor because he does not blow up as far as I know between fights. This guy's constantly in the gym. He's a gym rat. He's always staying in shape, working at his craft. So I was giving him a slight advantage in that regard. But with Billy Joe Saunders going to work with the Ingles, being in great shape, and of course, he is an Olympic medalist, and he's fighting at home in the UK, also, and this is a big one, he is in line. If he wins this fight and retains his title, he is in line to fight the winner of Canelo Golovkin, and that will be probably the biggest payday of his career, a multi-million-dollar purse potentially for Billy Joe Saunders. So he has all the incentive in the world to win this fight tonight. He does. So while I initially felt that Willie Monroe would outbox this guy, would probably get screwed, which he still could. Don't get me wrong. I think this is going to be a true boxing match, a chess match. Two slick guys. Who's going to outslick who? Very much likely to go to the decision. But with it being in the UK, man, Willie Monroe will have to do a lot, in my opinion, to get the decision, man. Because this guy Akavov, you know, he was in this fight and he lost by a couple of rounds on the official scorecards. So, and hey, let's just be honest here. Not accusing Frank Warren of doing anything wrong, but hey, this is in their backyard, and Frank Warren, if Billy Joe Saunders gets past Billy Monroe, would be in line for a big money opportunity with the winner of Canelo Golovkin. So, is the UK gonna easily let that title come back to America? I highly doubt it, man. It would have to be like I said, multiple knockdowns or an obvious beatdown of epic proportions, but still he could get screwed. So I'm expecting Saunders to win by decision. Whether he outboxes Willie Monroe or not. If the fight goes to a decision, which I highly expect it to, hell, I would put money on the fight to go to a decision. I believe it's at a minus 250 to go to a decision. So, and Billy Joe Saunders is at a minus 140 to win by decision. So, I'm expecting the outcome of the fight. Whatever happens, I'm expecting the outcome to be Billy Joe Saunders going to win by decision in that fight. All right. And by the way, I truly do believe Willie Monroe has a chance, and I think the odds should be closer than what they are. But with it being in the UK, big advantage for Billy Joe Saunders. All right, let's move on to UFC. Luke Rockhold is making his return in what is a comeback, in my opinion, warm-up / tune-up fight against David Branch. I know David Branch is on an 11-fight win streak, I believe. But I'm not confusing any of those guys with Luke Rockhold. He got a split decision in his comeback to the UFC against Jocko. He did not necessarily look that impressive. A very forgettable fight that the fans were not happy with. I am still considering Luke Rockhold to be the best middleweight in the world. And you may say, why? How can you say that when he lost his title in his last fight, got knocked out in the first round? Luke Rockhold was fighting on a bum knee against a guy who he was not showing much respect for, who he was in there playing around against. He was not being himself. He was in there trying to be cute, and he paid for it. He got caught, and he lost his belt, man. Luke Rockhold was on one hell of a run before, dropping that fight to Bisping. Finishing guys quickly, top guys, notable guys with names. The first guy to defeat and finish Chris Weidman. I mean, Luke Rockhold was on a hell of a run. He was, I'm pretty sure at the time, probably in my top 3 pound for pound. But, of course, he had lost. He took time off to heal up from his injuries, and he is making this comeback. And like I said, I'm still considering him to be the best middleweight in the world. He would have to, show significant signs of dropping off or losing his fight to, relinquish that title. Which, if he does, then I would say Robert Whittaker is the best middleweight. Because he's beaten Jacare, Romero, and he has the interim belt. And I definitely have him smoking Bisping if he fights Bisping. And it could be GSP, if GSP would keep the title, which I'm expecting GSP to win that fight with Bisping. All right, I'm expecting Rockhold to finish David Branch within 2 rounds. Rockhold is a killer. He's a finisher. He likes to dominate guys and put them away. I think he learns a lesson, not underestimating guys anymore and being too arrogant in the cage. He paid for it big time. David Branch, like I said, he's been on a good run, but I'm not putting any of those guys on his winning streak on the level of Luke Rockhold, man. Not even close. So yes, Rockhold inside 2 rounds. Hell, if he was active, I'd probably say within 1 round. But I will give him 2 rounds to get a finish on David Branch. All right. Now, let's go to the big one. Canelo and Golovkin. All right. I'm going to be very blunt. I have Canelo winning this fight, and not only do I have him winning this fight, I think he should win this fight big time. Will he get a stoppage? I don't know. Is it possible? Yes. Golovkin's thinking he's Terminator. He's laughing at the thought of Canelo, thinking he can knock him out and all this and that. Um, you know, I don't think Golovkin could stand taking that right hand over and over again that Canelo landed on James Kirkland. I don't think Golovkin could take those body shots over and over like Canelo landed on Liam Smith when he knocked him out via body shot. How many guys have gone to Golovkin's body throughout his career? Canelo is a body puncher. He's a complete fighter. He goes upstairs, downstairs. He has power, speed, youth on his side. In my breakdown for this fight, in the power category, I have it even. I'm not gonna rate one guy's power over the other. We all know that both men are two of the hardest hitters pound for pound in the sport. All right, what are Golovkin's advantages? He has a size advantage and he has an experience advantage. I'm giving him those advantages. All right. Now, what do I have in Canelo's favor? I'm giving him the speed advantage, whether it be hand speed or foot speed. I think he has faster hands, and if they had a race, I think Canelo would win. Athleticism, I'm giving that to Canelo. I think he's a better athlete in a athletic competition, running, jumping, you name it. I think Canelo is a better athlete than Golovkin, and of course he is younger. That's in Canelo's favor. Who is more in his prime? I have Canelo. With Canelo's 26 at this point, I believe. Golovkin is 35. Golovkin is close to the end than he is at the beginning or in his prime. Canelo is more in his prime than he is at the end of his career. As far as I'm concerned, one guy is progressing and one guy is regressing, and Golovkin is the one regressing. He was getting outboxed by Kell Brook. He, in my opinion, he lost by a landslide to Daniel Jacobs. That might not be the popular opinion, but I thought Daniel Jacobs clearly won that fight. And it was not close in my opinion. So, yes, Canelo is more in his prime. Who is pound for pound? Canelo. I have him in my top 10 pound for pound. Golovkin is not in my top 10 pound for pound. Why? Because, as I said before, he was getting outboxed by Kell Brook, and in my opinion, he lost to Danny Jacobs. In my pound for pound, I go off what actually happens, not off bullshit decisions. So, on my record, in my opinion, he lost the fight to Danny Jacobs, and if you lose, unless it's just some unique circumstances, most likely if you lose, you're out of my top 10 pound for pound. And Golovkin was not there anyway, because like I said, he was getting outboxed by Kell Brook. And so, no. All right. So a regressing, aging fighter in Golovkin. And there were rumors about him possibly retiring after this fight. Could that be a possibility? Could his one foot be at the door with Golovkin? All right. If the fight goes to the scorecards, which if it does, I would not be surprised. I think some people are expecting a stoppage in this fight. I'm not gonna say that. Neither one of these guys have been stopping their careers. Let's give them their respect. I think Canelo has a scorecard advantage. Why? First off, Golden Boy is a lead promoter in this event, in this fight. In Canelo fights, Canelo, when he fought Mayweather and got shut out, beat down, we had one idiot in C.J. Ross scored it a draw. When he fought Alexander Lara, the Mexican judge, Levi Martinez, scored it 117-111 for Canelo, when I clearly thought Lara outboxed him and won that fight. And he got a decision in that fight, a split decision win for Canelo in that fight. And then in one of his recent fights against Amir Khan, where he was getting smoked with like what was that fight, 5 or 6 rounds, he was losing all but maybe one round, if not all the rounds, to Amir Khan. Amir Khan's hand speed was confusing Canelo. He could not keep up. He was getting peppered. Amir Khan was doing a great job until he just got caught by one punch that put him out. So, but on those scorecards, I do believe I think all the judges had Canelo winning the fight. How, I have absolutely no idea. It looks like he was on the verge of screwing Amir Khan. Amir Khan was going to get screwed in that fight. So you know, when Canelo fights, man, crazy things happen on the scorecards, man. So if this fight goes to a decision, I am fully expecting Canelo to get the decision, man. He is the younger guy who can continue in the sport, who has more future in the sport, and can keep coming back to Vegas and having more big fights. Like I said, Golden Boy, lead promoter, and all that. You know, yeah. If this goes to a decision, in my opinion, no doubt about it, Canelo gets a decision unless Golovkin knocks him down numerous times and he gets far behind on the scorecard, to where it cannot be helped. All right. Now, I'm giving the defense, I'm giving that to Canelo also. I've always viewed Golovkin as being wide open to get hit, having poor defense. Uh, I just do not highly rate Golovkin, man. I don't. He's a guy who has power that puts a lot of guys out, down. These guys quit. But I think Canelo could win this fight standing in the pocket. Canelo loves to go toe to toe. And if Golovkin wants to go toe to toe, I think he will welcome it. And Canelo has lots of success going toe to toe with guys, man. And if Golovkin wants to get in a shootout with Canelo, like I said, I don't think Golovkin is tough, but can he take that kind of power all night? Those accurate shots, I think Canelo would be outlanding him a lot more in this fight than Golovkin will land on Canelo. Now of course Golovkin could land on Canelo, hurt Canelo, and stop Canelo. With his power, we know Golovkin has power, but outside of landing a power punch that could put Canelo out, I got Canelo winning this fight big time, either by a wide margin on the scorecards or by a stoppage for the first time in Golovkin's career. You know, so yes, Canelo can fight Golovkin in the pocket. I could also see him fighting him on the back foot. I could see him shoulder rolling Golovkin, as we know he has utilized that, added that to his repertoire since he fought Floyd. I could see him doing shoulder roll. I could even see him going to the ropes against Golovkin, which I know is pretty much a death sentence against Golovkin, but Canelo will be bold enough to try to do it, and could have success with it. All right. Now, the other advantage of giving Canelo, accuracy. Tell you in his last two fights, man, Canelo has looked pound for pound. Two great performances against Chavez Jr. and Liam Smith. The speed, the power, the accuracy, as I said, man. This guy was landing, hard, stiff jabs at will against the bigger Chavez, man. And with this level of accuracy, power, and punching speed, going up against a guy in Golovkin who I see as being very hittable, easy to be hit. I have Canelo winning this fight big time, man, big time. Like I said, whether it be on the scorecards or by stoppage. I really don't see it being a close competitive fight. And that may not be the popular thing, but that's just the way I view this fight, and that's the way I view Golovkin, man. So I think that is it, guys. I think I've hit on all the points on all three of these fights. Looks like the Billy Joe Saunders fight is going to that card's going to go live on YouTube in about 17 minutes as I'm wrapping up this video. So you guys, hope you guys enjoy the fights tonight. I most likely will be coming on right after the Saunders Monroe fight to do a post fight, and then of course we can gear up for UFC, which will be on, I believe, FS1, and Canelo Golovkin pay-per-view. $80 in the United States for that fight? $80 I paid. I'm paying to watch that goddamn fight. After paying $100 for Mayweather McGregor and $60 for UFC 215. So that's $240 just in pay-per-view. Just in pay-per-view, man. $240. And all my brothers and sisters in the UK, like I said, man, you guys do not complain about the pay-per-view price that you guys pay over there, man. I think that you guys pay what, like $19.95 or something like that for Mayweather McGregor, and what, $16.95 for tonight. That's what, less than $40, man. You know, and I'm spending what, $240. You know, $40 in Great British pounds, man. So, you know, and you guys got it made over there, man. Then you got the UFC part of your BT package or whatever. Whew. So I just thought I'd add that, man, because I've been watching these IFL videos, and I'm seeing them advertise their price, $16.95, $16.99, whatever it is, man. Crazy. So that's it, guys. You know, let me know what you think. I will be checking in after the fights. You guys enjoy, and thanks for watching.